Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 107, and this is my weekly zone cleaning episode. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor, and we'll get right into the show. Okay everyone, it's time for our weekly zone cleaning episode. So this week we are back in zone 2, the kitchen. So for the kitchen, I have a huge list. I was just looking over my kitchen list. So I want to make sure before I even start that I make it clear when we go through these lists each time we come into the zone, it is not intended to complete everything unless you have an enormous amount of time. You're going to work your way through these different lists, over the course of each time you hit this zone, which is once a month. So you'll get some of the things done, then the next time you'll get some more done, next time you'll get some more done until they're all done, and then you can start over again. So before I get into the list, just to explain to anyone who hasn't listened to these zone cleaning episodes before, and maybe if you're not familiar with zone cleaning. So zone cleaning is part of the Fly Lady cleaning system, kind of like her method of cleaning. There's a lot of different pieces to it. This is just one piece, and this is kind of the way that you manage your kind of like your deep cleaning tasks that don't get done on a regular basis, just things that you need to get done over the course of time. My kids are screaming and playing in the background. Teenagers, but they're acting crazy and I can hear them screaming. Hopefully you can't. I think they're playing a video game with each other or something. Anyway, so these are just like those types of things that you need to get done over time, but not things that you do like every single week. So the whole idea is just to kind of have a way to kind of work through them and not have to feel overwhelmed with what to do, where to begin, and that's what kind of drew me to it. So each week, your house is basically split up into 5 zones, and each week you're working in a different zone, each week of the month. So this week, like I said, we are in zone 4. So, not zone 4, zone 2. So zone 2 is kitchen. So what I will do is share with you what's on my list for the kitchen, and you can either use this episode to as a guide to kind of work through maybe getting some of these things done that you haven't done in a while, or if you want to create your own list. There's printables that you can print out for free online. I use the Fly Lady app so I could customize it to the task that I want to work on, but hopefully maybe this will just give you some motivation to keep moving and try and stick to the zone cleaning. So the only thing I didn't mention is the Fly Lady method recommends that you do zone cleaning 15 minutes each day, but I don't do it that way. I do zone cleaning once a week just because that's the way it fits into my schedule. So let's go through my zone cleaning list. So like I said, this is a really long list. Before I get into my normal list, I just did think of 2 other things that might be a good idea that I didn't actually add into my app yet. The first one was to wipe out and clean out the utensil like holder, I guess you would call it, like the kind of the divider thing that you put the utensils in. I actually have individual ones that I bought from like Target or something. So when you open the drawer, instead of like one big container kind of thing with the utensils in it, I have actually like separate ones so that I was able to just kind of put them all in the drawer how they fit. So there's like one for spoons, one for forks, one for all that. And I noticed that like over time they were starting to get like crumbs in the bottom of them, which I thought was really weird because I'm like, how are they getting crumbs in them? They're just clean utensils, and then clean utensils come out of the dishwasher and go back in. But I was thinking maybe what happens is like when someone opens the drawer, like maybe if there's a crumb on the counter or something, maybe it falls in, or I don't know, whatever. But that's going to be a new thing that I haven't actually officially added into my kitchen zone cleaning list. But I just did it the other day when I saw it. But I think that's something I'll have to add to my list just to kind of keep up on that so it doesn't get gross. And then the other thing that I thought could be added is just to kind of go through the cabinets themselves and just kind of like clear out maybe a section, maybe a cabinet, go through, see if you have any food that needs to be thrown out, like some potato chip bags with like 4 little half chips in there or whatever, things like that. So that's kind of just like a couple extra things that I thought of maybe you could work on while you're in the kitchen that aren't on my list. Okay, so what is on my list is clean out the freezer. So take everything out, wipe it out, go through the food before you put it back in, see if anything can be consolidated, see if anything needs to be thrown out. Straighten the drawers. That's not really exactly what I was just saying with the cleaning the utensil area, but that's more like if you have a junk drawer, if you might want to go through it and see if there's anything in there that doesn't belong or that you can maybe neaten up, that type of thing. Wipe down the walls, especially, like behind the sink and behind the stove. Sometimes you got like splashes or splatters, and then just kind of spot check. Sometimes I'll just, if I'm really like having extra time and I feel like going really crazy, I'll just literally walk from the one side of the kitchen to the other and just kind of wipe the walls from top to bottom. But most of the time I just kind of look around and spot clean. Let's see. Clean under the sink. So, just pull out everything that you have under there. I store cleaning supplies under there, and dishwasher detergent, things like that. I think that's probably what most people do. I'm not really sure. But just pulling everything out, wiping everything down real good and just putting it back. Again, maybe consolidating or tossing things out that might not need to be there anymore or that are used up. Let's see. Oh, if you have a drawer under the stove, we have like a drawer under the stove that's a storage drawer, which I don't actually use because every time I've ever put anything under there, I kind of forget about it, and then it just winds up getting like dusty and gross. So I don't actually store anything under there, but I do still need to pull it out and clean because I'm sure it's dusty. So that's something I'm gonna have to do soon. This is a fairly new item I added on here. Dust the paper towel holder. So we have like a paper towel holder that is like a horizontal one. So like the roll is like horizontal, so it's like on the wall. And I noticed the other day that like kind of the paper towel holder itself was a little bit dusty because I probably never even thought to dust it. So I added that to my list so that I don't forget about doing that. Scrub the stovetop. That's more like a deep clean of the stovetop, not just like your every day. Obviously you're going to wipe it down when you're done cooking or whatever. But this is more just like scrubbing it if you've gotten like a burn or something on there, or like not like a burn, but like if something like stuck on that you really need to like scrub a little bit more. Maybe you want to soak your burners. I have like a little tub that I stick them in like in the sink and just put like hot soap and water and then let them soak a little bit and clean them up and then put them back on the stove. I added, I think this might be new, but I'm not sure. Anyway, this is clean scrub brush holder, and that is like on my sink. I have one of those little, it's like a little metal thing, and like there's like a soap container that like sits on it, and then there's like a slot where you could stick like the scrub brush with the handle, so it kind of like holds it in place. But it gets like wet inside because like it's got little holes purposely so that it drains, and the sponge goes in there too. So the stuff kind of drains, and then it goes into like this bottom like kind of tray that it sits in, and that needs to be like washed out periodically because otherwise it gets kind of gross from the water like dripping in there. So that's a fairly new item that I thought to add to my zone cleaning list. Clean the floor vent. So I think I've mentioned before, I have a floor vent kind of like right kind of in the middle of my kitchen, not in the middle of my kitchen, but in the middle of the exit from our kitchen to the family room. And it's in kind of like a weird area where it's right in the middle of the walkway. So like things like get kicked in there, dirt, dust, all that kind of stuff. So I have to like make sure I clean it out real good periodically. Otherwise it'll get like kind of gross in there. Wash the oven mitts. I usually just grab whatever ones are currently out and throw them in the wash, and then I grab a new pair. We have a water cooler, so I have on the list to clean the water cooler drip tray. Just like that little tray where the water drips down. That can get slimy too, like just from water like dripping down on there. So just kind of pull it out and wash it out really good. Wipe down all the appliances. Wash inside the window. So like we have a window, we just have like one window in our kitchen, so I just like clean the glass, of course, and then clean the like inside the windowsill, like the part that like the outside gets to, where like you can get like dirt and debris, and not debris, but like, you know, dirt, and it gets kind of like grimy like from the outside if you're using like the screen in the summer. So just kind of wiping that out, making it look real nice and clean. Cleaning the ceiling fan. That's one of the things that is kind of annoying to do, because it's so annoying because the fan always like moves when you're trying to clean it. If anyone has a tip, I'd love to hear it on how to clean your ceiling fan without it constantly like moving away from you when you're trying to dust it off. Let's see. Wipe down the cabinets. That's the same thing with the walls. Sometimes I'll do the whole cabinet up and down. Sometimes I'll just look for areas that need to be spot cleaned. If you have a light that has like a bulb kind of that needs like an open bulb that could collect dust or bugs or anything like that you need to clean out. Also clean the pet dishes. What I'll usually do when I do that is I'll just kind of stick them in the sink with like hot soap and water, not hot soap and water, soap and hot water, and I'll let that kind of soak while I'm doing something else. And we have like stainless steel pet dishes, and they come out like really quickly cleaned when I do it that way. I just kind of let them soak while I'm doing something else, and then I come back and just kind of clean them out and then wipe them out, and they come out really nice. Clean the oven. That again, and that's something that I like to start at the beginning when I'm starting to clean, so that it can kind of do its thing, and then I can wipe it out when it's done. But I only kind of do that in the winter, and definitely when people aren't coming over, because it smells really gross after you clean the oven. Clean the top of the fridge. So we actually store like pots and pans and stuff on top of our fridge because we don't have like a huge amount of space in our cabinets. So I got like this nice like metal rack that they kind of just like sit on, so it looks really nice. But I do have to like kind of pull that down and wipe it down and dust the metal rack and everything and put everything back up occasionally. So that's on my list. See, I told you this is a really long kitchen list, so maybe there's a few things here that hopefully you might want to work on if you're doing your zone cleaning this week when you're listening to this episode. Clean the oven door, wipe down the dishwasher, wipe down the garbage can. Our garbage can, you know, I don't know, somehow things just like spill on it or whatever. It does wind up getting kind of dirty, so just spray it down real good, wipe down the whole outside and the inside of it. Oh yeah, I always have this one. This was added to my list a while ago, but it's kind of a good one for me. Maybe this will apply to you, but we have some wine glasses that are out that hang on like a it's kind of like one of those like racks like that there would be at a bar, like where the wine glasses hang from, and we have like a small one of those that has like 6 glasses or whatever under our cabinet. And just because they're like out in the open, they can get like dusty or like get like that weird like greasy coating on it, you know, like that stuff can get when it's near like where food's being cooked, if they're not wiped down often. So I added that to my list so that I periodically just kind of take them down and wipe them down. And I've actually been making more of a habit to use those regularly, because sometimes I'd always just grab the same once, and now I try and like make sure I rotate through them, because then if they're used, then they'll just get washed anyway, and then they won't get dusty or anything like that. But I still always just check to make sure. And then the last thing on my list is to clean the dishwasher. The last time I did this, I had not really done it before, and I looked up online, and it just basically said to take, I believe it was a cup of vinegar and put it in the top shelf, and then you sprinkle the bottom of the dishwasher with baking soda, and then I just ran it on like the whatever, like I forget if it's called Sterilize or, you know, like one of the deep cleaning cycles, and that like just kind of freshens it up or whatever, just in case because sometimes, you know, like someone will miss like rinsing it fully, and then like, maybe like food will get in there or whatever, so it just kind of like cleans out everything in there and freshens it up. So that is my entire kitchen list. Hopefully this was helpful to you in helping you think of a few things you might want to work on the kitchen this week. like I said, don't get stressed out about trying to complete all these things. These are just things that you can complete over the course of time. You know, it's kind of like the way she talks about zone cleaning. One of the benefits is it's kind of like if you do zone cleaning, you don't ever have to do this massive spring cleaning because you're always working on these kind of like deep cleaning things in your home all throughout the course of the year. You're just doing them a little bit at a time. So just do what you can get done. There's going to be weeks where you're so busy you just obviously can't get to any, and then you'll have other times where you get more done. It'll all get done eventually, and if you keep rotating through it, it will definitely get done over the course of time because you have a plan. You're not just kind of doing the same thing. You know, you have a plan on working through this list and getting through everything, and then once you get through, then you can start over again. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any feedback or any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. You can send me a message there. You can join the private listeners group, which is at facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you feel up to leaving a review, it would be super much appreciated. I hear that it's supposed to really help with the show coming up in the search, which will allow more people to listen. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.